Librarian Emily here, and I want to tell you about one of my favorite scary books. It's The Diviner's Book 1 by Libba Bray, and I tell you, this book almost kept me up at night. I actually listened to it, and the narrator, who was January Lavoie, did an absolutely marvelous job. So the story is about Evie, who gets sent from her small town in Ohio to New York City in the 1920s to stay with her uncle. She's so excited to be in the city, surrounded by speakeasies and fashion and flappers. But her uncle runs an occult history museum, and he suddenly gets pulled into a murder investigation. And these are really grisly, awful murders. And so Evie also gets pulled in and has to reveal her own paranormal powers in the investigation. Now, Naughty John, who is the actual murderer in this case, is one of the most sinister, awful characters I've ever met in a book. He has this terrible whistle and song that he sings as he's following his murder victims. It's super creepy. You'll love it. Thanks. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Librarian Taylor. Some of my favorite horror novels are The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones, and also his novella, Mapping the Interior. And then I can never get enough of Shirley Jackson. So this is The Haunting of Hill House. My absolute favorite is We Have Always Lived in the Castle. I have to read it at least once a year. So, Haunting of Hill House, Mapping the Interior, and brand new, The Only Good Indians. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Rachel, one of the librarians at the Springfield Public Library, and I want to show you two of my favorite movies for this time of year. Two scary movies that are also blasts from the past. On my left, I have The Lost Boys, one of the better vampire comedies films of the 1980s. It's not only fun to watch, but it also has great style. And then I also have, back from the 1960s, a popular TV show called The Munsters, which was very silly, family-friendly, and just happens to be about a family of monsters. So I hope you enjoy both of these picks, and happy Halloween.
Hi, this is Librarian Cara, and I'm here to tell you about three of my favorite scary stories. The first one is a Stephen King classic, The Stand. It's the fight versus good and evil, but none of the gore that I don't like in my horror stories. The next one is about vloggers trying to make it in the post-apocalyptic zombie world, and that's Feed by Mira Grant. And finally, one of my favorite vampire stories, Sunshine by Robin McKinley. In this story, there's a relationship between a human and a vampire, but that vampire does not sparkle in the sun, and he is not safe. And those are three stories, all three of which are great crossovers for adults and teenagers. Thanks!
Hi, Librarian Kristen here, today to recommend one of my favorite genres to read when I want to be scared, which is realistic dystopian science fiction. The first book today is World War Z by Max Brooks, and it is what would happen if we had a global pandemic where the virus turned people into zombies. Great read. You can get the audiobook version from us as well that has many cameo appearances by famous actors. Second book, many of you have probably heard of it because it was turned into a television show, is Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale. This book scared me the first time I read it and could not put it down. And then one of my absolute favorite authors is Octavia Butler, and I recommend The Parable of the Sower, which is also a dystopian science fiction novel that looks at what would happen in the United States if climate change was quite accelerated. Recommend this book to you as well. Hope you enjoy them. Thanks.
G'day everybody, Librarian Mark here, and when I'm looking for a scary book, I go straight to Through the Woods by Emily Carroll. This is a graphic novel. It's a selection of short stories that she wrote and illustrated, and it's terrifying. There's a range of different story settings, most of them in and amongst the woods. I love the artwork and the use of color. I mean, for example, this one here starting off, just to set the scene, this man is not my brother. And it just goes from there. Every story is unsettling. Every story is beautifully, sparsely written, and works so well with the artistic style that she uses all the way through. It is guaranteed to give you nightmares, and I can attest to that from personal experience. It's scary. Hope you enjoy it.